We freaks gotta stick together. And the best way to stick together is to keep an eye out for what drives us apart. You feel me?
Yeah, you tell it like it is, Hancock.
Now, what out there in our big friendly Commonwealth would want to drive us apart? What kind of twisted, unneighborly boogeyman would want to hurt our peaceful community?
The Institute and their sins!
That's right. Who said that? Coming up to my office later. You've earned yourself some jet. The Institute. They're the real enemy. Not the Raiders. Not the super mutants. Not even those tools over in Diamond City.
I don't know, Hancock. I'd sure love to give McDonough a kick in the ass.
Hey, we all know I got my own personal beef with that lardhead. But stay focused. Now, I want everyone to keep the Institute in mind. When someone starts acting funny. When people are doing things they don't normally do. When family starts pushing you away for no reason. We all know who's behind that kind of shit. And the only way to stop it is to stick together. They can't control us if we're not afraid. Now, who's scared of the Institute?
Not us!
And which town in the Commonwealth should the Institute not fuck with?
Good neighbor.
And who's in charge of good neighbor?
Hancock!
Of the people. For the people.
You been to Diamond City?
Freak
Good
just won't
noodles.
fit anywhere
Bunch
else.
of assholes, though.
Hey,
Shoot.
Piper.
All right. Out with it.
Your thoughts?
Have any more questions about the Institute's enemies, Blue?
We should get going.
All right.
What, you drive? Head over to the third rail.
You sticking around?
Don't have no handouts.
I hear Bobby No-Nose is looking. Always a catch with the No-Nose, but she pays.
Well, well, Mr. Valentine. I thought you had forgotten about little old me.
May have walked out of the den, Irma, but I'd never walk out on you.
Amari's downstairs, you big flirt. Here for Amari, she's downstairs.
Irma.
Whatever you and Nick are up to, I don't need to know. Just don't let the big metal softy hurt himself, all right?
Good neighbor's crazy. Thefts, murders, worse. Sometimes you just gotta escape a little to make it through the day.
I guess.
You ever listen to the Silver Shroud? That's what we need. No matter how bleak things got, he saved the day.
That sounds familiar.
You'd remember him if you heard his show. They're the best detective shows in the whole world. What if the Silver Shroud was real? With his black trench coat and gleaming silver submachine. I got a plan to bring him to life. So he can fight bad guys and give the rest of us a symbol of something better.
Sure, Kent. You have a plan, all right.
You really gotta rain on this guy's picnic.
I know how it sounds. I've built my own custom machine gun. But to make this work, I still need the most important piece. And they actually got one here in Boston. They made it...
I might do it, if you make it worth my while.
I can give you some caps up front. Just promise you'll help me.
Do you really need the...
With the gun, I'm just another armed hooligan. But if the Silver Shroud came to...
I'll get the costume for you.
You're gonna do this? For real? Before the bombs fell, they were... So that's where you'll find it. You're...
Kent.
Be careful. The comic book store's in a real bad part of town.
Don't let Nick spend too much time with Amari down in that lab first. I'll start to get jealous.
Dr. Amari?
Yes? I take it this isn't a social call.
Doctor, it's time for you to reverse death itself.
What?
I wouldn't have put it quite that way, but it's true.
Are you two mad? Putting aside the fact that you're asking me to defile a corpse. You don't...
I mean, technically...
This dead brain had inside knowledge of the Institute, Amari. The biggest...
Fine. I'll take a look. But no guarantees. Do you have it with you?
Could you say that like Dr. Frankenstein? Ego, fetch me the brain. No?
No, I will not. Now, do you have it?
Here's what I could find.
What's this? This isn't a brain. This is... Wait, that's the hippocampus. And this thing attached to it? A neural interface?
Those circuits look awfully familiar.
I'm not surprised. From what I've seen, all Institute...
So the brain is still good, right?
Possibly. There's no sign of decay, so the tech is probably preserving the tissue. But there's no way to access the memories and...
You're talking about me, right? I'm an old synth. If the Institute built me out of similar parts, we might have an in.
There could be long-term side effects. I don't know where to...
Don't bother.
Uh-huh. We should try plugging you into a toaster next. Fresh toast.
It's nice to know that even when I'm about to have a foreign object shoved into my noggin, you find new horrible ways to...
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Valentine. Just sit down.
If I start cackling like an old grizzled mercenary, pull me out, okay?
How about a bit of good news?
Let's see here.
If you haven't already seen it.
I need you to keep talking to me, Mr. Valentine. Any slight change in your cognitive functions could be dire. Are you feeling any different?
There's a lot of flashes.
Back in town.
Static. I can't make sense of any of it, Doc.
That's what I was afraid of. The mnemonic impressions are encoded. It appears the Institute has one last failsafe. There's a lock on the memories in the implant.
Even though we never really talk. Like, ever. Elton, Britt,
More problems. Seriously?
It's not like anyone has ever done this before. You try making a secret technology work across... Just let me think. The encryption is probably meant to keep We load both you and Mr. Valentine into the memory loungers. Run your cognitive functions in parallel. He'll act as a host, while you're...
Nick and I are gonna share a mind? Yeah, I'm not gonna see him in any compromising positions, am I?
Yeah, if a smart mouth was all it took to solve problems...
No. You won't have to worry about that.
All right. Let's get started.
Just sit down over there, and...
See you on the other side.
Initiating brainwave migration between the transplant and the host. Mnemonic activity coming from the transplant. It's degenerated, but it's there. We're going to load you into the strongest memories we can find. They might not be stable. Just hold on. Can you hear me? Ah, good. The simulation appears to be working, although the memories are quite fragmentary. I'll try to step you through the intact memories and hope we find one that gives us some clue to the Institute's location. There. This is the earliest intact memory I can find.
Turn down the goddamn radio! I'm trying to sleep!
All 5 states have now signed on, which means that as of this moment, we are all citizens of the new California Republic.
Remember, you are
People always
experiencing
hoping
these
for something
memories as
better.
Kellogg.
They
This
usually
may
end
prove
up with something
disorienting
worse.
at first.
Mom knew how it was. She wasn't soft, but she loved me in her way. And she I was such a dummy back then. What did I know about how the world worked? I think now she wanted me to kill him. I should have. Instead, I ended up running away. I told myself I wanted to find somewhere out from under the thumb of the NCR and all their rules. But really, I was running from the guilt of not protecting her from Dad.
There appears to
doesn't
be
matter now, though.
another intact memory close to you in temporal sequence. There. Try that one.
What's it?
Dad was either drunk or not around. I guess he must have run with one of the raider gangs, but I never really knew what he did. Don't know why Mom was with him. Maybe at some point in his life he wasn't a complete asshole.
Nothing, Connie. People like to talk and hope someone else is going to keep them safe.
Teacher at school said the NCR would bring back the good old days. Like before the big war.
Don't you listen to that twaddle. I'm going to stop sending you if that's what they're teaching you.
I'm going out. Where the fuck did you put my boots?
Listen to me, Connie. You take this. You're old enough. You're the man of the family now. It's your job to protect us. Your father's useless, but you won't turn out like him. You're a good boy. And all that on the radio. All useless talk. The only thing that will protect you in this world is that gun in your hands. You need to learn to use it if you're going to survive.
I will, Mom. I promise. I won't let you down.
You've always been my good boy.
It's gonna be fine. You'll see.
But we don't don't know anybody here. And now, with the baby?
Come on, Sarah, you've got to give it a chance. I finally got steady work with a good outfit. Nothing like that in the NCR these days.
No, I'm not saying this was a mistake. I'm just... Are you sure these guys know what they're doing? They seem kind of green.
I know, but that's where I come in. The thing about happiness is you only know you had it when it's gone. I mean, you may think to yourself that you're happy, but you don't really believe it. Focus on that petty bullshit or next job or whatever. It's only looking back, by comparison with what comes after, that you really understand. That's what happiness felt like. Just wait. I was the worst thing that ever happened to her. If she'd never met me, she'd have stayed in the hub, maybe hooked up with someone who didn't kill people for a living. Probably been happier than she was with me. Almost certainly lived longer. In a few years, I'll be running my own crew. As soon as I make the connections I need. Then I can give you... Whatever made me think that a guy like me should have a daughter? No, I never deserved her. Not for 1 second. Anything you want. And little Mary, too.
I never worried about you before. Must be my mama instincts kicking in. Who knew I had those, huh?
Come on, you're great with her. And you don't need to worry about me. Most of it's just running security for the she. A lot of standing around looking tough.
Well, they sure picked the right person for that job.
Listen, it's gonna be great here. See this? This is what's gonna keep you and Mary safe. I promise.
I know, Connie. I'm sure we're gonna be really happy here.
We are. You'll see. That's okay. I got it.
Let's keep looking. I'll connect you to the next intact memory.
How did you think this was gonna end, Kellogg? You thought you could just fuck with us, and we wouldn't fuck with you? Just so you know, they died like dogs. And you weren't there to help them.
I found another memory to try. I'll connect you.
How did you think this was gonna end, Kellogg? You thought you could just fuck with us, and we wouldn't fuck with you?
Mind if we sit down?
Suit yourself. I don't remember much from that time. It all kinda blends together. It was almost always a bar, though. That's universal. There was always a job for someone like me. Didn't matter what it was. Didn't matter who I was supposed to kill. I got pretty good at it. There's always someone who wanted someone else dead. Sometimes just roughed up, but dead was usually what they wanted. Sometimes they thought they could cheat me. That was usually only when I first arrived somewhere. Didn't matter to me. They just took it as part of the job. Little extra thrown in for free. I always got paid in the end, one way or another. I didn't care where I was going. Ended up mostly wandering east. Getting as far away from San Francisco as I could, maybe.
So, I hear you'll take care of people's problems. Is that right?
If you pay me.
Oh, we'll pay you. And, you'll do this all by yourself?
That's right.
We pay you when the job's done. Is that okay?
That's the way you want to do it? So who do you want dead?
Well, it's like this. There's his family. Lives down the creek a ways.
Well, we seem to be getting closer. Try this next one.
Mr. Kellogg, I'm glad you decided to meet with me.
So, you're with the Institute. I wanted to see for myself if you really existed. I finally ended up in the Commonwealth. I kinda ran out of road. Plus, I'd come to terms with life. I wasn't gonna be stupid enough to get mixed up with caring about other people again. It was just me against the world. And the world had it coming.
We do.
First synths weren't all that impressive. I'm good, but I'm not that good. But the Institute could always make more, and kept making them better each time. They still give me the creeps, but you have to get used to them if you want to work with the Institute. First synths weren't all that impressive. You heard all sorts of rumors about the Institute, but I figured they were just a convenient boogeyman for anything bad that ever happened. They were real, all right. They didn't know anything about operating on the surface. Relied on their synths for everything. They had the resources I needed, and I had the expertise they needed. Turned into a permanent arrangement, which suited me just fine.
As you can see.
What do you want?
It's come to my attention that you've been rather disruptive of our operations lately. This must stop.
I do what people pay me to do. If that's a problem for you, I could see only one way out.
And what's that, Mr. Kellogg?
If I'm working for you, there's no more problem. From what I hear, you can afford me.
I don't think you fully understand the situation you're in.
I think I do.
Very well. B-748, initiate. Impressive. We may have something to talk about after all.
Getting warmer. One of these has got to tell us something. We're running out of brain here. There's one that looks mostly intact. Connecting now.
Manual override initiated. Cryogenic stasis suspended.
Vault computers are still working. That's good. Checking through the logs. Hopefully it's all...
Just find it.
Pod C6. Down the hall near the end.
The eggheads never liked taking orders from a dirty, contaminated degenerate like me. But they needed me, and I made sure they knew it. I was now the Institute's main operator in the Commonwealth. if they needed something done, they came to me. It wasn't usual for anybody from the Institute to come along on a mission, so this one stood out. They didn't know then who it was we were grabbing from the vault. Of course, neither did they. Not really. I never knew why we didn't just refreeze the rest of them. But we had our orders. Guess the old man didn't want so many loose ends. Too bad he left alive the one person he shouldn't have. I'm glad I didn't have to kill the kid. I'm not saying I haven't done it, but, I never like to. And yeah, I guess it did remind me of, her. Yeah, I'm a cold-hearted bastard for sure, but, still human. Better this way, though. Better than taking her kid and leaving her alive. Even then, I knew it was a mistake leaving him alive. I understood that kind of revenge. No one better. But I was cocky enough to assume I could handle some soft, pre-war vault dweller, even if he somehow got thawed out. At least I know those Institute bastards will soon get what's coming to them, too. If he could take me out, they won't be able to hide from him for long.
This is the one. Here.
Open it.
Is it over? Are we okay?
Almost. Everything's gonna be fine.
Come here. Come here,
wait.
baby.
No, I've got him.
Let the boy go. I'm only gonna tell you once.
I'm not giving you Sean.
God damn it. Get the kid out of here. Let's go. At least we still have the backup.
Cryogenic sequence reinitialized.
What's the holdup? I'm almost finished, Kellogg. I just need to confirm. All right, we're good.
I'm sorry you had to go through that again. I found another intact memory. Whenever you're ready. Is that your son? This appears to be a very recent memory. So, good news, I think.
This whole setup in Diamond City was part of some elaborate plan of the old man's. Seems obvious now that we were bait for our friend from the vault. Timing couldn't have been an accident. It's not how the old man works. I wonder if he outsmarted me in the end. Another loose end tied up. It wasn't my idea to settle down with the kid in the middle of Diamond City. I thought it was a terrible idea, actually. But it was one of the old man's pet projects, so here we were. Me and the kid. Like a happy little family. I ended up kind of liking it. A reminder of what my life might have been if things had turned out differently. But there's no going back. I knew it was just temporary. It'd be back to normal business before too long.
Kellogg.
It's okay. One of these days, you're gonna get your head blown off just barging in here like that.
Minimizing my exposure to civilians is a priority.
Forget I said anything. So, the new breed of synths could easily pass as human. Some of them did. But the coursers, they weren't built to blend in. They were killing machines, pure and simple. Smarter, stronger, and faster than almost any real human. I'm just glad they were always on my side. What's the big crisis this time?
New orders for you. One of our scientists has left the Institute.
Left? As in?
He's gone rogue. Name's Dr. Brian Virgil. We know he's hiding somewhere in the glowing sea. Here's his file.
Wow. Some heads are gonna roll for this. Capture and return, or just elimination?
Elimination. He was working on a highly classified program.
No kidding. One of the top bioscience boys? Damn. So, I guess you're taking the kid back with you.
Affirmative. Your only mission is to locate and eliminate Virgil.
You're taking me home to my father?
Yes. Stand next to me and hold still.
Okay.
But the dreaming
X688, ready to relay with Sean.
Bye, Mr. Kellogg. I hope I see you again soon.
Bye.
Teleportation. Now it all makes sense. Nobody's found the entrance to the Institute because there is no entrance. Let me pull you out of there as soon as you're ready. What kind of side effects the procedure might have had. No one's ever done this before. How do you feel?
Next time I have to watch someone's life story, I want popcorn.
Well, if you're cognizant enough to joke, I think we can safely say that you're out of critical condition. Are you ready to talk about what happened in there?
You were along for the ride, weren't you?
Yes, but it's important we review everything.
We got what we needed. The Institute...
Yes. Their greatest secret has finally been revealed.
What? You don't have a spare teleporter lying around?
This is serious. No one outside the Institute could dream of making that. Wait, maybe that's it. That memory about Virgil, their scientist who went...
I like it.
The memory said the Institute tracked him to the glowing sea, but that seems...
Why? What makes...
The name says it all. Radiation. Navigating radioactive hazards is nothing new. That's why it doesn't make sense. Virgil fleeing into that...
That's why he's there.
That must be it. He's using the radiation and the glowing sea like a shield. If Virgil found a way to survive there...
Uh-huh. Oh, I'm going in naked. Fingers crossed I get superpowers.
I know you're joking, but as a doctor, I feel obligated to remind you that unprotected radio... So be sure you find a way to get through there with your life intact. By the way, I unplugged Mr. Valentine first. Removed the implant while you were waking up. He's waiting for you upstairs.
Blue, you got a minute?
Sure thing.
Just what you said about Nat. Family's too precious. What kind of life? It's just... Sometimes it feels like having someone I can count on. Someone like you.
Yeah, but you're my kind of nosy.
You're the exception. I just wanted to write the things I thought were crooked guards, lousy infrastructure. There was a hole in the exterior wall that was... I started the paper more as an act of desperation than anything else. After the first couple of editions, people may not have agreed with what I said, but...
Still, a lot of work to fix.
Oh yeah, but when that first edition hit the stands, I felt like I'd finally done something.
Sure.
People didn't want to talk the way they used to. Seemed that overnight I'd gone from being... A lot of folks, they haven't treated me the same since.
Right. You can count on me, Piper.
I know I can. You're not afraid of me like everyone else. I was sure that the paper would be the best thing I ever did in my life, but... being here with you now... I've needed someone like you in my life for a long time, Blue. So thank you.
It sounds to me like you're interested in becoming more than just friends.
Oh, I mean... well, I'd be lying if I said I never thought about you that way. Not that I'm always thinking that way. It's just... Blue, I'm loud. Why would someone like you...
You don't need to be flawless, Piper. You're perfect for me.
Perfect, huh? That's a new one. Well... Goodness, Blue. Come on.
Heads up.
Where to?
Hey, Piper.
Time for some travel fuel. Want one?
Your thoughts?
You know...
Is everything okay between us?
Blue, I'm on cloud 9. Things couldn't be better. And that's all thanks to you.
Your thoughts?
Sure don't make them like they used to.
That was all I had.
Sure.
Nick.
Hope you got what you were looking for inside my head. I was right. I should have killed you when you were on ice.
You want to try for round 2? Let's go!
What? What are you talking about?
Wait. Were you just playing a joke on me?
I guess that's for you to wonder, and for me and Kellogg's memories to know for sure. Anyway, I feel fine, so... Or I could head back to Diamond's...
We have to head into the glowing state.
I'm a synth, so radiation isn't much of an issue for me, but an old suit of power... That, or you could buy up all the Rad-X...
There's something wrong with you, Nick. I don't want you with me.
I told you I'm fine. But I get it.
Right.
I'll be in Diamond 6.
Hey, Valentine.
Time to hit the road?
Just looking to trade a little.
Yeah, sure thing. Time to hit the road?
You interested in travel?
Sure. Could be fun.
Not now.
Well, I'll be around if you change.